she laughed. Right in my face. When I told her I already knew everything. Exactly 47 minutes later, she was on her knees, crying so hard she couldn't breathe, mascara running down her cheeks like black rivers of regret, begging me, literally begging me on the marble floor. Not to throw her out of the life she thought she was about to escape. Because that same morning, while she was still sleeping next to me, smiling in her dreams about another man, I quietly became worth $8,421,000. And she had absolutely no idea. Less than greater than this is the exact moment her perfect little world ended. And mine had only just begun. Let me take you back, way back, to the guy I was just 9 months ago. My name is Alex Carter, 32 years old, 6'1", decent shape because I still hit the gym 3 times a week. But to the outside world, I was completely invisible. I drove a 2014 Toyota Camry Y with 180,000 miles and a cracked side mirror I never bothered to fix. My wardrobe was 5 identical gray hoodies and jeans from Costco. We lived in a 950-square-foot apartment in a boring suburb outside Seattle. The kind of place where nobody ever asks what you do for a living because nobody really cares. Emily, my wife of 4 years, would introduce me at parties like this. This is Alex. He's in tech. And that was it. No faux blow-up questions, because in tech could mean anything from billionaire founder to the guy who fixes printers on the 3rd floor, and everyone just assumed the second one. She wasn't wrong to think that. My official salary was $108,000 a year before taxes. After the mortgage, student loans, and her online shopping habits, we had maybe $400 left at the end of every month. Sometimes less. Emily never missed an opportunity to remind me. Mark just got another bonus. They took the whole team to the Maldives. Mark's girlfriend just got a new Range Rover. Leased, of course, but still. Mark says if you're still at the same company in 5 years, you're basically a failure. Mark, my college roommate turned successful sales director. Flashy watches, always tanned, always loud. The guy who still called me dude and slapped me on the back like we were 21 again. Emily loved hanging out with Mark and his rotating cast of 26-year-old girlfriends. She'd come home from those dinners, glowing, telling me how alive she felt around them, how ambitious people inspired her, how maybe I should try harder. Less than greater than I never argued. I just smiled, kissed her good night, and went to the garage. Because every single night for the last 3 years, after she fell asleep in front of Netflix, I was building something nobody knew about. Not my parents, not my best friend, not even Emily. An app. A stupid little idea that started as a weekend project and slowly consumed my entire life. I taught myself machine learning on YouTube at 2 a.m. I wrote code on a 10-year-old laptop that sounded like a jet engine. I lived on Red Bull and 4 hours of sleep. And I never, not once, told a single soul. Less than greater than. Because deep down, I think I already knew. If I failed, I didn't want anyone's pity. And if I succeeded, I wanted the moment to be mine alone. Turns out, the moment ended up being worth $8.4 million, less than greater than. But that's only the beginning of the story. It started with a single notification. March 17th, 2:14 a.m. I was in the garage, debugging a memory leak that was driving me insane. My phone buzzed on the table. Unknown number. No text. Just a photo. Emily and Mark, in his car. Her head on his shoulder, his hand high on her thigh. Time stamped 11:47 p.m. Exactly the night she told me she was at Sarah's birthday drinks. I stared at that photo for 23 minutes straight. No anger yet. Just ice. Then came the second message, and the third. Every Tuesday and Thursday for the next 6 weeks. Hotel receipts, screenshots of texts. Can't wait to feel you again. Same room as last time? Delete this after you read. Photos of them walking into the Marriott downtown, arms around each other, laughing like teenagers. Every single one from the same anonymous number. Less than greater than. I never asked who was sending them. I didn't need to. I just saved everything into a hidden folder called Insurance. I started tracking patterns like a psychopath. Tuesday nights, she'd kiss me goodbye at 7:30 p.m. Tell me not to wait up, drive to the same parking garage near Mark's office, switch cars, check into the Marriott at 9:12 p.m., leave at 6:03 a.m. the next morning. I knew the exact minute the elevator doors closed behind them. I paid a private investigator exactly one time, $2,800 cash. He gave me a USB stick with 4K footage from the hotel hallway. Date stamped, crystal clear. Emily wearing the red dress I bought her for our anniversary. Mark's hand on the small of her back, guiding her into room 1218. I watched that video on mute 47 times. Not because I liked the pain, because I needed to be 100% sure I wouldn't feel anything when the time came. And I didn't. Less than greater than. Meanwhile, at home, Emily got bolder. She started complaining louder about the apartment, about our vacations, or lack thereof, about how Mark's girlfriend just got a Birkin bag for just existing. She even said once, word for word, "Sometimes I feel like I made the wrong choice marrying you." I just smiled and said, "Don't worry, babe. Things are about to change." She thought I was talking about a promotion. I was talking about the wire transfer that had already been scheduled for the following Tuesday morning. The same Tuesday she had booked room 1218 again. The same Tuesday she would come home smelling like him and walk straight into the end of her old life. Less than greater than. But before I show you that moment, the one that broke her completely, you need to know exactly how the money actually arrived and why I kept it secret until the perfect second. Monday, 9:47 p.m. I got the final email from the acquiring company. Subject line, "Closing tomorrow, final documents attached." I opened it in the garage, door closed, sound off. They wanted to close at 9 a.m. Pacific the next morning, wire to my personal account. The one Emily didn't even know existed. Full amount, no escrow, no earnout. $8,421,000. All cash. I signed the last page with a stylus on my phone, hit submit, closed the laptop. Then I did the most insane thing I've ever done in my life. I went upstairs, crawled into bed next to her, and slept like a baby. Less than greater than Tuesday, 8:58 a.m. I'm sitting at my desk at the office, pretending to read emails. My phone vibrates once. Bank alert. Incoming wire transfer, $8,421,000. I stared at those numbers for a full minute. No celebration, no fist pump, just a quiet nod. I screenshotted it, saved it in the insurance folder, and went back to answering tickets like any other Tuesday. At 11:12 a.m., Emily texted me. Emily, working late again tonight, don't wait up. Love you. Translation. She was already in Mark's car heading to the Marriott. I replied, "Take your time, babe. See you when you get home." Then I left the office early, drove home, and spent the entire afternoon preparing the final scene. I moved every single trace of her belongings into labeled boxes in the spare room. I printed the hotel footage on glossy A4 paper and laid it out on the kitchen island like a crime scene exhibit. I placed the USB stick right in the middle. I poured myself one glass of 18-year-old Macallan, the bottle I'd been saving for a special occasion. And I waited. 11:47 p.m. Key in the lock. She walked in exactly on schedule. Hair messy, lipstick gone, that post-sex glow she thought I was too stupid to recognize. She kicked off her heels, poured herself wine, and launched into the speech she'd clearly rehearsed in the car. "Alex, we need to talk. I can't keep pretending everything is fine. I'm not happy. I haven't been happy for a long time. I deserve more than this apartment, more than this life. I think we should separate for a while. I've already been looking at places." I didn't interrupt. I just took a slow sip of the Macallan and said, "Before you say another word, come look at something." She rolled her eyes but followed me to the kitchen island. That's when she saw the photos, the receipts, the U.S. stick. Her face went from annoyed to confused to pure white in under 5 seconds. I pressed play on my phone. Hotel hallway footage, room 1218, her red dress, Mark's hand on her ass. She dropped the wine glass. It shattered exactly like in the movies. Then came the screaming, the excuses, the tears. I let her go for exactly 2 minutes. Then I turned the phone around one more time and showed her the bank balance. $8,421,000, less than greater than. She stopped breathing. Her knees buckled. She literally collapsed to the floor, grabbing my legs, sobbing, promising she'd never speak to Mark again, that it was all a mistake, that she'd do anything, if I just forgave her. I looked down at her and said the only sentence I had prepared for months. Tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., the movers will be here. You have until then to pack whatever fits in 2 suitcases. Everything else stays. The apartment is paid off. It's in my name only now. You and Mark can have each other. Good luck with that. Then I stepped over her, walked to the bedroom, locked the door, and slept better than I had in 4 years. Less than greater than Wednesday, 8:47 a.m. The doorbell rang exactly on time. 2 movers in blue uniforms. I opened the door, handed them the list, pointed to the 2 suitcases already waiting in the hallway. Emily was sitting on the couch, eyes swollen, hair unwashed, wearing the same clothes from last night. She hadn't slept. She looked 10 years older in 12 hours. She tried one last time. "Alex, baby, please, we can fix this. I'll go to therapy. I'll delete him right now. I'll never—" I cut her off with a single raised hand. "Movers are here. You have 13 minutes. She started screaming, loud enough that the neighbors opened their doors. She ran into the hallway, grabbed my arm, fell to her knees again, right in front of Mrs. Henderson from 12B, who was taking out the trash. I peeled her fingers off one by one, handed her the burner phone and an envelope with exactly $2,000 cash. "That's everything you're getting. Don't call, don't come back, don't text. The locks are already changed." The movers closed the boxes, took the suitcases, shut the door. At 9:03 a.m., the apartment was empty of her. Less than greater than 3 hours later, I was at the Porsche dealership. Matte black 911 Turbo S carbon package, paid cash, drove it off the lot with the temporary plates still on. 2 weeks later, pure coincidence, I swear, I pulled into a Shell gas station near the turned out to be the exact one Mark uses every morning. He was at pump 4 filling up his leased Mercedes GLC, the one he brags about on Instagram. I pulled up right next to him, rolled the window down. He saw the car first, then he saw me. His face went the same shade of white Emily's did. I just smiled, gave him a little 2-finger salute, and said loud enough for the guy at pump 3 to hear, "Tell Emily the new couch arrives Friday. She always hated the old one anyway." Then I drove off. Less than greater than people keep asking me the same question in the comments. Do you miss her? The truth? The best day of my life wasn't when $8.4 million hit my account. The best day was watching her realize, in a single second, that she threw away a future penthouse in Manhattan, private jets, first-class everything, for a guy who still leases his car and still lives in a 2-bedroom condo with IKEA furniture. Sometimes karma doesn't scream. Sometimes it just shows up in matte black, 992 horsepower, and drives away without saying goodbye. So yeah, that's the full story. If you've ever been betrayed, lied to, or counted out, drop your story in the comments. I read every single one. And if you want another 50-minute revenge story tomorrow at the exact same time, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell. I'll see you in the next one. Less than greater than...